If you live in one of our great free states, you may want to start paying attention to what's going on in California, or your state might become California. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the very first episode of Cali 2A. My name is Matt. If you haven't been here before, make sure to hit the subscribe button, turn your notifications on so you don't miss any upcoming episodes or any other content that I might post. I got a lot of pretty cool things in store for you guys I think you'll really enjoy. So again, make sure you don't miss those by hitting the subscribe button and turn your notifications on. Today, I figured it's only right for my very first episode to dig into California's crime, California's politics, and how they relate to our Second Amendment rights. Unless you've been living under a rock, everybody knows California's politics and California's Second Amendment rights are a complete joke. Well, if you live in one of our great free states, you may want to start paying attention to what's going on in California, or your state might become California. I know it's easy for those of you living in those states to look at California as a lost cause. And we kind of get swept under the rug when it comes to our rights in general, but especially our Second Amendment rights. As most of you know, Gavin Newsom, California's governor, he's gonna try and run for president. Currently, the Biden administration has been doing everything they possibly can to limit our Second Amendment rights, to limit law-abiding citizens like myself to have the ability to protect ourselves. Well, if Gavin Newsom gets elected, imagine the Biden administration on steroids. That's exactly what it's gonna be like. So recently I came across this video on another YouTube channel called California Insider. And if you haven't seen them, go check them out. Really insightful information regarding California. So I came across this interview that they did with a sheriff from, I believe it was Riverside County. And this sheriff, he talks about California's crime problems. He talks a little bit about Gavin Newsom. So I want to play this clip for you real quick. Check it out.
Now you mentioned the politicians, and you mentioned that you're in touch with other law enforcement leaders across the country. Have you had discussions with the politicians that are actually?
Absolutely none. They will not talk to us. They will not talk to us. The current governor has been governor for how many years? 4 years, and
he just got reelected.
So
yes.
we're talking 5 years now. He's never met with us once, and every governor before him met with us every 2 months. So the sheriffs, there's only 58 of us in the state, and we come together for meetings every 3 months. And at those 3-month meetings, every governor in our history has met with us and talked about us, about the problems we're experiencing, about public safety issues. This governor refuses. He has never met with us, ever. And he has no desire to. And he doesn't want to hear reality. I mean, they're making all of these public safety laws and changing laws that are on the books that concern public safety, closing down prisons, letting people out early. He has never consulted with the public safety experts, the ones that deal with it every single day. Never. You're going to have to ask him that.
So you've tried to reach out to him?
Absolutely.
And there's no clear reason why he doesn't.
He's busy. That's the answer. Every governor in our history hasn't been that busy, but apparently he's too busy.
So you mean to tell me Gavin Newsom refuses to meet with our local law enforcement regarding public safety, regarding the laws that continuously get passed to allow criminals to continue being criminals and not be held accountable? He's the only governor in California's history that refuses to meet with our local sheriffs. How does this guy keep getting elected? I hate to go down the whole conspiracy theory rabbit hole, but it really is starting to make me question things. There's no way even the most liberal Democrat can look at these laws that continuously get passed and hear these sheriffs speak on these things, because they're dealing with the forefront of it. They're on the front lines dealing with the crime. And for the most extreme liberal Democrats to see these things and say, yeah, that's the guy. He's the guy for the job. He's what's going to keep our community safe. He's what's going to make it safe for my kids to go to school. It makes absolutely no sense. It's making me question everything. I'm not a political expert by any means, clearly. I never even paid attention to politics until I got into the firearms world. And I kind of got sucked into it. I don't have a choice. Because these laws continue to get passed that allow criminals to be criminals, and these laws continue to get passed that makes it harder for people like me to defend myself and protect myself, my family, the ones that I love and care about, I don't have a choice but to pay attention to politics. And it drives you crazy. That's why I never paid attention to them to begin with. But if you're anything like me, if you go buy your very first gun today and you don't pay attention to politics and the things that are going on, not just in California or your specific state, but across America, you can wake up a week later and a law could have been passed overnight that makes you a felon. And you wouldn't even realize it if you don't pay attention to these politics. It's kind of like it's a double-edged sword when you get into protecting yourself, and it shouldn't be like that. You know, it just so happened that when I came across that video that California Insider did with that sheriff, it was the same exact day that Gavin Newsom introduced this 28th Amendment thing, which is dead in the water. It's not going to happen. Even Democrats don't support it. But that just goes to show you what his intentions are if he ever becomes president. So again, those of you in those great free states might want to start paying attention to what's going on here in California. I grew up in a pretty bad area. No longer live there, but I'm not far from it. I'm almost 40 years old, and it's never been as dangerous around where I live as it is now. It's always been pretty bad, but it's just continuously declining. There's still places I like to visit and restaurants I like to go to with my family that are in these crime-ridden areas that I grew up in. And fast forward, I don't even feel comfortable going there anymore. It's gotten that bad. It used to be just normal to me, but it's so bad. Something always happens almost everywhere you go because criminals know they can do whatever they want and not be held accountable. They might go to jail, they'll be out tomorrow. So to put things in perspective from the other end of things, this is an ex-criminal, again on California Insider. Watch this.
I really believe that our police force has decided to just say to hell with it, and they're just not really pushing the issue like they used to. They're not holding people accountable. So if I have a number of petty thefts, like more than 2, more than 3, at some point, there used to be the law when you had what's called a petty with a prior. And if you had enough of those, you could have a felony. They stopped that. So you can have 30 petty thefts on your jacket and never be sent nowhere for it, never be held accountable for it.
So these police officers don't even want to be proactive. They don't even want to go patrol the streets. It's useless. It's pointless. Because of what's going on in our legal system. Because of what's going on with these politicians. Continuously lying, saying they're doing stuff, and nothing's getting done. Well, the criminals are figuring it out. So they know they can go do whatever they want because they're just going to be out. They're going to get away with it. Nothing's going to happen. Slap on the wrist. Go do it again. There was another interview with another sheriff from San Bernardino in Southern California, and he was describing what it's like day in and day out being a police officer. And he said just that. These police officers are getting to a point. Now, disclaimer, he claims that his department doesn't do this, but I don't know anything to back that up, so I can't say whether or not this is true. But he did say this is true in some departments where the officers don't want to be proactive. If an officer pulls somebody over and that person is a criminal or not and becomes combative, which they typically do because the mainstream media narrative is cops are bad, don't trust cops, they become combative. That cop's job is to win that battle that just ensued and take the criminal to jail. Well, if the criminal gets hurt during that struggle and gets a broken arm, a broken finger, a scrape on the arm, 9 times out of 10, the criminal turns around and sues the police department. The police department will have to pay $100,000 or more, hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees to go to court, and they always win, but they just spent all that money. So what they do now is they just give the criminal $50,000, $70,000 or whatever just to make them walk away. Because of these laws, because people continuously vote for people like Rob Bonta or Gavin Newsom or Joe Biden, all because they hate the other side. And a lot of that stemmed from Trump. A lot of people are actually voting for Democrats, for liberal Democrats, just because they hate Trump. I'm not no big Trump supporter or anything. I think in some ways the dude's an idiot. But I'm not just gonna vote for a certain side just because I dislike a specific person. Gotta evaluate these things. Gotta look at these people for who they are. So my wife, she works in retail. And about a week ago, she came home and was telling me about another story of another criminal that went into her work to steal a bunch of merchandise. One of the employees chased this guy out of the store and retrieved the bag back. And when he came in, they realized this guy was trying to steal over $1,000 worth of merchandise, which then allows them to make a police report. Police come out, check the video, does their investigation, comes back to all of the managers of the store and tells them, you guys are not allowed to go after the criminals anymore. You're not allowed to try and retrieve your stuff. You just can't. California just passed a law a week prior making it illegal for you to go after a criminal that just stole stuff from your store. A day later, I come across this other clip. Watch this.
Organized retail crime remains one of my top priorities, and I want to be clear that just as these marketplaces and these retailers are committed to this work, so am I, to combat it, to take them down.
Talking about thieves who steal retail goods with the intent to resell, distribute, or return stolen merchandise for financial gain. Retailers and online marketplaces throughout California signed an information sharing agreement. It looks to increase the detection and reporting of organized retail crime, as well as improve collaboration with law enforcement.
Rob Bonta, California's great attorney general, lying to everybody on mainstream media, saying that they're passing laws to stop these theft rings. They did not do this. They actually made it easier for the criminals to continue doing what they're doing. But they lie to you blatantly on mainstream media, and the most naive people, the blind, will see this and say, I'm gonna vote for that guy again. I want more people like that in office. Believing a lie, just because they said it. They literally said that they're doing one thing, but they actually did the exact opposite. But you're gonna go vote for them just because they're a Democrat. People need to stop voting for people based off of the R or the D in front of their name and start looking at these people, as individuals, research them, see what their morals and values are about, and then vote for them. A lot of my beliefs may be more conservative and Republican leaning, but there's still a lot of things that are liberal that I believe in. But I'm not gonna go vote for somebody just because they're a Republican or just because they're conservative. I'm gonna evaluate that person. And I think that's one of our biggest problems right now, is because these politicians will lie on camera, on mainstream media, and you're saying, yeah, I'm gonna vote for that. But you gotta investigate. It shouldn't be like this, but you have to investigate what they're actually saying and find out whether it's really true or not. I'm really starting to think that a lot of this crime stuff is very similar to the homeless problem that we have, not just in California, but in all big cities throughout the United States. I came across a Joe Rogan interview that he did with Coleon Noir. Both great guys, obviously. Everybody knows Joe Rogan. If you don't know Coleon Noir, go check him out. Well, they were talking about an agency in California that their job is to combat the homeless crisis that we have going on in California. But what's funny is this agency receives millions of dollars to combat this homeless crisis, right? That's their job, is to combat these things. What if they actually use that money and actually solve the homeless problem? These rich people that work for these agencies will no longer have a job. So why would they fix the problem? And I'm starting to think that's the same merry-go-round BS when it comes to crime. These politicians claim that they're doing something about it. On the hidden side of things, they're really not doing anything about it, but you're going to vote for them because they said they are, and then nothing gets done, and they still get to pad their pockets with money saying we need more money to do these things, but it's not getting done. Because if it got done, they'd all be out of jobs. There's a problem. How we fix it, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a political expert. I don't know what the solution is, but I'm hoping to bring some type of awareness to these things. So that's what I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you think, if you agree, if you disagree, if there's any sort of solutions that anybody has to these ongoing problems that are just continuously getting worse and spreading to other states. It's already shown that it's starting to spread to other states. Make sure to like the video. Again, subscribe, turn notifications on. Make sure to take care of one another, look out for each other, protect yourself, protect the ones that you love and care about, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.